More than 1 million people have signed a petition calling for Sir Tony Blair to have his knighthood rescinded. The former Labour Prime Minister, who was in office between 1997 and 2007, was appointed a Knight Companion of the Most Noble Order of the Garter in the New Year Honours List. However, there's been opposition to the appointment, vehement opposition, due to Sir Tony's record while in 10 Downing Street, including, of course, the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Any thoughts here, Stephen? What do you like? A big fan?
Of Tony Blair?
Yeah.
I really do think he's actually probably the most competent Prime Minister we've had over the last few years.
Controversial?
Well, I mean, he's clearly made mistakes and people haven't let go of those.
Yeah.
2003, if you look back at 2000, iPhones didn't exist then, but we still remember Iraq. I mean, a million people supposedly have signed this saying that they don't want it. I'm pretty certain those 1 million people fall on a side of the political spectrum that were previously supporters of Tony Blair.
Do you think?
I think there's a lot of people who don't like Tony Blair who are inherent Conservatives who don't like him because he beat them repeatedly.
But isn't that interesting that actually Tony Blair's one of those figures that you can rely on both people from the left and the right hating? They're sort of united in this. I know lots of left-wing people who cannot stand Tony Blair.
Yes, well, that's the thing. I know more left-wing people who can't stand Tony Blair. There is a begrudging, almost kind of respect from the right-wing for Tony Blair because he sort of came in at the back end of the Thatcher years and a few Tory Prime Ministers who weren't sort of hitting it with the same sort of regularity.
We were successful.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I think it's the classic British thing of not being happy with someone who's successful. I would say, though, the irony of it is that they're not happy with him being a Sir. I think the people on the left side of the spectrum are also the same sort of people who don't believe in knighthoods anyway.
OK.
So they're asking for him to remove something that they don't really think is of any credit anyway.
And do you think so, Liz? Do you think this is about left and right? Do you think that's what this is all about?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty reviled across the political spectrum. But as Stephen says, it's kind of unfair. He was Prime Minister for, what, 13 years?
Yeah.
And obviously he's gonna have a few clangers. He's going to, like, accidentally invade, like, a few countries or whatever. That's just what politicians do. They want to invade countries because that's, then they get to go in a helicopter and get to go in the news instead of working out, transport policy or something worthy and dull like that.
It's part of the fun. That's why you've got Liz Truss in a tank recently, because, she's gearing up.
Everyone in politics wants to be Putin. That's what we've got to understand. And, I mean, I think, for people to say he shouldn't be a knight, we've got Sir Jimmy Savile.
We do? Well, not anymore.
Well, not anymore.
But that's the point, isn't it? You lose that. You lose the Sir bit when you do something wrong after you've been given the knighthood. What they're asking is then to take into crimes, inverted commas, that predate the actual knighthood. What I'm trying to say is if Jimmy Savile had done everything he did beforehand and it was known, probably wouldn't have been knighted.
That is absolutely true. I don't think he would be under those
I mean, I don't think he would have been knighted. But, I mean, he didn't...
I think certainly not, right?
I mean, at some point, the royal family are going to have to at least try and distance themselves from paedophiles a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think... people on the left hate Tony Blair because he got elected, and people on the left hate that because it means they can't, have an idealistic vision of what they'd do if they got into power. We saw what they did when they got into power. Also, it meant people on the left had to do some work.
Yeah, but he wasn't left-wing. Tony Blair wasn't left-wing. Never claimed to be left-wing, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he realised it was a toxic thing to say. If you want to get elected and you're in Labour, don't go around shouting the word left-wing.
No, but he was a right-wing Labour. I mean, that's what New Labour was. New Labour moved Labour to the right, didn't it?
It moved Labour to the right so that it could take policies that have been that have been Labour policies for ages, but make them palatable to people that they needed to get to vote for them in order to become in power. And that's the whole point. You can't do anything if you're not in power.
The only way that the left can get in power is to make themselves right.
No, I think
that's a very peasant.
Well, I think the only way the left can get themselves into power is to be a little bit more accepting of people with a slightly wider political
centrist. Then, I see.
Well, is it centrist? I think the problem with the word centrist is it looks a bit wet.
It does. Well, most centrists are wet. And
it's like going to a football match and supporting the referee. Nobody wants to be centrist.
Oh, I went to one football match in my life, and I went there and I supported both teams equally. And I was shouting that. I got some looks for that. But I wanted to... I'm a bit more egalitarian like this. I just think,
right.
I think, why not? I like Tony Blair's new look, though. I don't like him or his policies, but I like his that sort of leonine, that mane of hair. He's like Aslan. Yeah. He's looking like Aslan, isn't he? And like Aslan, he does keep coming back to life, doesn't he? He won't go away.